Welcome, everyone. I'm Kimberly Boscheman, and this is the Intentionally Intuitive podcast. In this episode, we're going to take a look at the new moon that's coming up on February 9th, 2024. So we're going to take a look at each life path number to see what energies may surface around this illumination and see how to best work with them. Of course, before we do that, I just want to mention that this is a general reading. If you would like a personalized reading where we take a look at your own personal numerology, I would love to work with you. You can book some time with me. My information is in the description box below. All right, let's get into it. Life path number 4. So for this new moon, we're going to be working with the energies of the 5 and hippopotamus. So this is interesting. So the 5 energy, of course, is very fast moving. It's very much about enjoying life, living life in a way where you're experiencing it with all of your senses. It's usually very it can be very unpredictable energy. It can be very unconventional and sort of brings in new, fresh ideas and different perspectives and new ways of seeing things. It can also be shifty, meaning it can create change and transformation quite abruptly. It's sort of that's what I mean when I say it's sort of can be unexpected energy. Or unpredictable, because it can be like lightning bolt energy where it comes in and it creates some kind of greater awareness. And then from that greater awareness, we have to take action, right? Make some kind of change or do something differently. So it's interesting because I don't want to say that the 4 is like the nemesis or the 5 is the nemesis for the 4, but it definitely is different energy than the 4, right? It's sort of on the other side of the spectrum. The 4 is more sort of refined and more strategic and more slower paced, right? It wants to get the job done and get it done right. The 5 is more about like, let's just fly by the seat of our pants. Let's just not have a system in place. Let's just go with the flow. Which, can be really good for 4 energy, because it forces us outside of our comfort zone. It forces us to see things differently, see things less in a less rigid way. And that can help us creatively, right? Or in relationships or whatever the case may be. So it kind of helps us to be a little bit more spontaneous and, again, see things a little bit more progressively outside the box and to do things a little bit more in an unconventional way. Whereas the 4 is more about conventionality a lot of times. It can be more about systems, right? So you could find around this time that you are pushed to be a little bit more open-minded or see things from somebody else's different perspective and maybe incorporate that perspective in whatever it is that you're doing, whether it's with relationships or work or whatever. There's definitely there's definitely a push here to help with some area of your life, right? With this 5 energy, it's causing some kind of a shakeup. So somewhere where things have become stagnant or too routine or mundane or too rigid, this 5 will come in and spice things up a little bit to help things to evolve, right? To get moving. Sometimes we get stuck in our way of doing something, or, thinking something is the best or the only way to do it. And the 5 comes in and says, there are other ways to get there, and let's take a look. And that can help with the expansion of our creativity in whatever area of life that shakeup needs to occur. But there's definitely something here with hippopotamus about an emergence and actualizing your goals in some way. And also sort of surprising people a little bit, or I would just say like this element of surprise. Like people may be having one idea about you and your work or whatever the case may be, and you sort of coming in with that surprise tactic just the element of surprise, like surprising people. That's all I can come up with. But there's some kind of emergence here, some kind of actualizing of your goals in a way that the 5 is going to help you to do that by, again, expanding your horizon, expanding your perspective so that you can incorporate that new perspective into whatever it is that you're doing, which will create a different outcome. So again, this could be like with relationships, maybe, it's just having a conversation with your partner and seeing that things can be done differently and trying it and seeing how it works out. Because the 4 can be very solution focused, and the 5 just brings in that element of there's many ways to get to that solution. So let's try as many as possible and see what one works best. So it really is this opportunity to work smarter, not harder, in whatever area of your life that this shows up. But I would say, with this being a new moon, with the 5 energy and with hippopotamus energy, there's definitely something here about a new start, about change, about transformation, and also about releasing control and not needing to really have too many strong expectations about what the end goal is going to look like. Kind of going with the flow, doing what you can do where you can do it, but not forcing things. The 5 is really good about showing us where we don't have control, even though we think we do. And so where we can surrender in those areas, the journey becomes much more comfortable and we evolve in the process. So there's definitely something here about if you can work with this energy and shift, where you need to shift and go with the flow and surrender where you need to go with the flow and surrender. And also think outside your comfort zone. Do things outside of your comfort zone under this energy. Try something new and something different. The 4 can sometimes fall in the pattern of doing what's tried and true, but that's gonna yield the same results. And the 5 is saying, let's play, let's do things differently, let's explore, let's create, right? Let's push it to the limit type thing and see what we can do. So interesting energies for 4s, but it can be a really fun energy to work with. It's just going to feel uncomfortable at times, likely, right? And it can feel a little bit like a whirlwind. But wherever this 5 energy drops you and leaves you, you will be better for it. Okay, so you just kind of move with it when it asks you to move with it. And if you can do that, I think you'll actualize some goals that you've been working towards that maybe you felt stuck with. So anywho, I hope it's a great new moon. It will probably be pretty wild for you, but I hope it's great. All right, take care. Bye for now.